everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Garret MacGillivray. I am one of the career counselors here at UniExplore. I am also one of the co-founders of UniExplore. In terms of why do I have some knowledge in regards to helping individuals start their own careers? Personally, I've started 3 of my own companies, and I've worked in investment banking as well. At one of my firms, I've hired well over 50 to 60 individuals. To a total size of maybe about 30 individuals at any given time. So I know sort of the ins and outs from sort of the HR perspective, from sort of the business perspective, from a lot of different angles. So I'm leveraging that knowledge today to sort of help you guys out, to help kickstart your own careers and help sort of get things started. For the purpose of this webinar, we will be focusing on how to maximize the use of LinkedIn. In total, the webinar itself this one will be a little shorter than some of the other ones, so it might be max maybe about 15 minutes and hopefully maybe 10 minutes worth of questions afterwards. LinkedIn itself is a very powerful tool. There's a lot of ins and outs of it, and if somebody is looking to sort of get into a new space, get into a career field, it's a really highly developed tool that can really help you get there by really connecting with the right people at the right time and sort of making those introductions a lot easier than it was before LinkedIn existed. So without further ado, we're just going to be talking about a number of different things. The first thing itself, we're going to be talking about when you're developing your own LinkedIn page. One of the key things that you have to have, one of the important things is having a really good profile picture. Now, a lot of individuals might just leave this out or not do it in a professional enough manner, in the sense that you're going to be taking some picture from, say, your Twitter feed, or say from something that you took off Facebook. That's not the appropriate picture to use here. You got to have something that's professionally done. The 2 examples that I've shown here are very, very professionally done. They look like they're done by professional photographers, and they characterize the individual themselves. For the most part, to play it safe, you just got to be professional. So whether you're a woman or a man, you got to just have a very professionally well done photo where you're looking at the camera itself, not looking off to the side. Just have something that's very clean with a white background or a solid colored background, something along those lines. Because that's the first thing people are going to see when they come across your LinkedIn profile itself is your face. And if you don't have a professional, well done photo, or if you don't have a photo at all, then you're starting off on the wrong foot. So by having that professional, well done photo, even if you have to invest in it, even if you have to get somebody else to do it that has, if you're at school right now, you could have an art club, you could have somebody with a really fancy DSLR camera. So get that well done photo done so that you can just continue using it for, a long time to come. In addition to the profile photo, number one thing is to really leverage that header, because that's something that everybody sees. Okay. So if you look on the screen, you can see Benji Bateman. He's a marketing consultant at SmartBug. So that is like a really key thing to put down, because that really leverages in terms of what he is and what he's particularly doing at this point in time. You can add other additional things, like as you've seen, he's #1 rated HubSpot partner, whatever it might be. Or you can, leverage it on your own front to stipulating that, if you're a student that's currently looking for a career, you can stipulate that, recent financial graduate from McMaster looking for opportunities in finance or something along those lines. But state what you want. Because if you're looking for a job and you currently don't have one and you're a student, state that. Put that right up there so people know what it is. Like, you're a master's graduate or an MBA, or if you're a graduate from engineering or from science, state that. Put it up there, state that you're looking for opportunities, so that when people come across your profile, when you message out and reach out to people don't have to guess what you're looking for, because then you're stating it right there. They know what you want. They know what you're looking for. There's no guessing games. So if there is an opportunity, if there is something that somebody's looking for to fill a hole for in their own company, they know that that's something that you would be interested in right off the bat. Okay. So those are one of the 2 primary key elements that a lot of people surprisingly don't do properly. A lot of people have sort of bad profile pictures. They might be looking off to the side, or they might be, stuff that they pull off of Facebook or other sort of social media platforms. And in reality, that header is one of the most important pieces, because the first thing people see, and when people are searching for individuals on LinkedIn, this is the line that shows up beside their name. So it's not anything else on the profile. So when you're looking through those search results, this is the line that people see. So you got to craft that to really suit your needs. So if you have an existing job, you might not want to put that you're seeking out additional opportunities, but you might say something like, you're a marketing consultant or something along those lines, or state your job title, make sure that it's pronounced, people understand what you do, so that when recruiters are even looking on LinkedIn, they know that you're a marketing assistant or you're an analyst or whatever that might be, because they are specifically looking for specific types of jobs that people have qualifications and skills for in order to fill their own placements. So if somebody's looking for a senior financial analyst, they're going to look for financial analysts. And if you put in financial analyst, then at least that recruiter will, at least when they search for it, you're going to show up because you've put financial analyst there versus some other random line that you have along those lines. So if you have an existing job, put in that job title that you have there, because then that'll help recruiters make it easier for them to see your profiles in order to match you with other potential jobs as well. The number two thing for when you are developing your LinkedIn profile is really filling out your experience. Okay, so you got to put down the proper titles, the proper companies, and then you got to fill it out. So in the example that I have here, all the proper titles, it's all linked to the proper companies, but it doesn't have the proper experience listed. And that's something that you really got to add in order to really make this particular LinkedIn profile shine. From the perspective of where you're getting this information, you want it to really mimic what you have on your resume, and you want it to match specifically the type of job that you are looking for. In the sense that when you have a resume, you want to have that handcrafted towards whatever role that you're looking for, whether that might be a marketing assistant or an engineering intern. That has to be a well-crafted resume so that you can specifically curate the different types of experiences that you've had that demonstrate the skills that are necessary for that particular role. Okay, so when you have that handcrafted resume, this is basically what you're reciprocating here on your LinkedIn profile by stating exactly the type of experiences that you have, curated with the skills that are necessary for the position that you want. So I keep bringing it up, but if you're looking for a financial analyst-based position, they're looking for people that are analytical. They're looking for people with problem-solving skills. They're looking for people that are organized and have initiative. So those are the 4 different types of skills, as an example, that you want to display in your experience on your profile. So you want to make sure that that's really high and tight in there underneath each of the experiences and jobs that you've particularly had. And if you haven't had a job before, that's okay. We'll get to that in a moment. But even if you've worked at, say, an organization at your school, say if you're one of the finance heads or of like some random school student association, you put that there, okay? That's qualified as experience. Whether you've had a co-op position, that qualifies as experience as well. Or if you've worked part-time, say even at a retail shop, something along those lines, put that there too. That's still experience. That is all experience in and of itself. So you got to put that experience there so that people can see that, you've worked before, what type of experience that you've had, so that they can really understand what your current skills are, so that they can better match you with jobs that, you're looking to get. Additionally, beyond the experience, the number one things that you can add to your profile is the extras. Okay, so this comes in the form of education and volunteer experience as a number one. So education, put down everything basically that you've had, make sure that's correct and linked to the proper schools, whether you've had an undergraduate degree, master's degree, certificates, even like whether you have extra certificates along those lines, or say you're a CFA student and you finish the CFA level 1, make sure to add that into your profile. Or if you're an accounting student that's done one of the accounting requirements or even engineering additional certifications, put that in there. In terms of volunteer experience, put down all the volunteer experience that you've actually had. If your experience section is weak, then amplify that volunteer experience. So in the sense that, people see that you are active, you're out there, you're outgoing, and, you're participating in stuff that's beyond just the program itself. And if you're limited in that regard, that's okay, but you gotta have something that shows you as an edge that exemplifies whatever different types of skills that you have so that you can get the particular job that you're looking for, okay? Now, going on, you have also the accomplishment sections where you can write down the different types of languages that you are good with, as well as your interests. Like you follow different types of companies or different types of groups and associations, which are also on LinkedIn. This can really help because it'll help you get some inside industry knowledge, and it'll also allow you to, interact with other individuals that have the same interests as you. So if you're interested in getting into real estate, there might be a different number of types of real estate oriented groups that are out there, and you can sort of, follow them, join them, and interact with the other individuals that are in that group, because that's a source of networking. Because the whole point of LinkedIn is to network with individuals. You can have the landing page itself, but you have to engage people on LinkedIn in order to, form that connection, because you want to use LinkedIn not just to make friends, you want to make business connections so that you can help leverage them in order to get yourself a job or, close a deal or just expand your network so you can see different types of opportunities that are out there in the industry itself. Okay? So if you're lacking on a number of fronts, then you got to really dive deep in those interest section by just following the groups that matter, getting the industry knowledge from those groups, because you'll have a number of different professionals in there, and then engaging with those individuals as they continue to post on LinkedIn, as well as, they share different types of posts, they share different types of information. The group itself will post a bunch of different information. You can engage with it either by and I'll talk about it in a moment, in mail, or you can just write comments or at least like and or share it on your own page for your own different types of connections that you have. So the next important thing on LinkedIn is really building your network. Okay, this means by LinkedIn has a different section where you can add other individuals that are also on LinkedIn and connect with them. LinkedIn itself has a special mechanism where if you have a minimum of 500 individuals that you're connected to, that amplifies your searchability and makes you more prevalent when it comes to search results, as well as, being found on LinkedIn, because it amplifies your profile. Because what ends up happening is that it caps out at 500. Even if you have 1,200, 1,300, 2,000 individuals, it only shows 1,500, 500 plus. And it works in terms of the back end of LinkedIn's algorithms in terms of how individuals show up from when they get searched upon. Once you have those 500 people, the first 500 people, you want to just connect with basically anyone and everyone that you possibly can, so you can get to that 500 person level mark, which just, as I said, helps amplify in terms of the LinkedIn algorithms. Beyond that, you want to connect with the individuals that are in positions that would interest you. Okay. So what I mean by that is if you're looking to become a data analyst in the banking industry, the best thing that you can do is connect with all the data analysts that you possibly can, or that will at least accept your invitation on LinkedIn itself. So you can very easily search it in the search bar. You can search data analyst, you can search banks, and then you can find all the individuals that are presently employed as data analysts at the bank. Now, why is this important? Because if you're looking to be a data analyst at a bank, the best thing that you can do is network with individuals that are in those positions itself, because they know the ins and outs of it, what would be required, the interview process, and people that you maybe should get to know if you want to get this particular position. Because that data analyst right now is looking to become a senior data analyst or a manager or something along those lines. So at some point in time, their position will be backfilled by a new individual. So that's why building your network with individuals that are in the industry that you're interested in can only amplify your career searchability, because by connecting with these individuals, you get additional leverage and insight into potential careers and companies that you otherwise would not have known about. So that boils it all down to the most important feature that is available on LinkedIn, which is the in-mail. Okay. So once you've crafted a proper LinkedIn page, and once you have connected with a large amount of individuals, as well as individuals that you're interested in connecting with, you have to use LinkedIn to actually connect with them, because it's not enough to just to connect with them on LinkedIn and then hope for the best. They're not going to reach out to you. Okay. You have to be the one that has the initiative that actually reaches out to these individuals themselves. So what does that mean? You have to connect with those data analysts on LinkedIn that work at CIBC, TD, or any of the other big banks that are in Canada. And you have to set up a time to have a coffee chat with them or have a call with them. This might not be the present right time to do it given the current environment, but you want to connect with them even via phone, either via Skype or even just basic text message communication through InMail itself. Whatever way that you can, the best thing that you can do is constantly connect and reach out to new people and really expand your network. And that is the power of LinkedIn, because you can isolate and find the exact individuals that are in the career path that you want to be in, and it allows you to connect with them personally via one-on-one text message-based communication. Now, this is incredibly powerful because, again, some of the other webinars I've talked about the power and importance of networking, but the more times that you can reach out to new individuals that are within the relevant sphere of the career that you're looking to get, the better, because then you have more and more connections, and you never know when a connection will pan out. For all you know, the next time that you reach out to the one individual, that could lead to a job. You really don't know. And all it is playing by the numbers. So the more times that you reach out to more people, the more potential opportunities that you'll get. Okay. So that's why when you have LinkedIn, creating it and a professional LinkedIn page and connecting to all the right people won't do too much when you don't actively reach out to people yourself. By being proactive and taking that initiative, that's how you truly leverage the system itself in order to amplify your career search and really get you into those places where, they might have been private job listings where they might not have been even publicly listed because they're looking for internal references. And the only way that you can become an internal reference is by getting to know new people. And once you know those new people, then you can get on that potential list. Now that basically sums up the LinkedIn presentation for today. Just to give everybody a heads up, we do offer 30-minute sessions, one-on-one counseling, where if you want to have any particular private questions that you'd want to ask me personally, those can be arranged. We do a lot of other additional things, such as, we would build your LinkedIn profile for you, or we can craft that particular resume that you might want to have drafted, or even just help you with your job search. Like the UniExplore team and the career counselors here, we're here for you. And whatever your problem might be and whatever difficulty or struggle you might have, we can help you through it, and we can help you get to the right spot that you want to be.
Awesome, great. Thank you very much, Garret. I think this is our cue for questions. And then just before that, as Garret mentioned, if you are a WeChat user, you can scan the codes at the bottom of the screen. The one in the middle is it's going to help you find a 30-minute session with Garret, or you can just scan the first one to join our community, so you can get all the updates and activities or benefits we offer. If you don't have WeChat, it's okay. You can send us email. Our email address is info@unexplore.com. Or just send us a message on our website. We do have someone always checking messages through our website. So we, in the past few days, I do receive a few questions about LinkedIn through through our consultation, through our questions, interaction with our group members. And anyone in this webinar right now, feel free to ask any question. But the one question I have for you, Garret, is a lot of our audience here are students or graduating from schools or freshly graduated. So in terms of experience, we don't really have a lot. So what would you suggest? Like, do we want to just make up some experience, or do we want to just like just exaggerate a bit on our previous activities? Like, how do we make a profile a bit more convincing with lack of work experience?
Yeah, so even if you don't have work experience, again, it's anything that really counts. So it's in the sense that if you have joined a student association, or even if you're part of a sports team or whatever it might be, like add that in there. For stuff in regards to sports team related things, you could even add that as, you're an athlete on the college sports team or something along those lines, or volunteer experience at whatever food bank or the CRA tax preparation program or something along those lines. You have to go out there and actually do stuff in order to actually have some form of experience that you can actually add it to your profile. So if you're an individual that has only simply only done the education program itself, like, you got to go out there and do some additional things, get some volunteer experience, be part of a student association, something, so that you can put something on that LinkedIn profile. And even if it's right now you get a part-time job, or even if you get a contract somewhere, you do a couple hours, that's at least something. You can put it on there. It doesn't even matter even if you did it for 1 hour, or even if that's at your parents' company where they might have something that's semi-relevant. You can just add that in, and then you're good to go.
Thank you, Garret. I strongly agree with you on that. Especially on the student association part. A lot of our audience here, like are university students or master degree or college, whatever. And it's really about like what you did, instead of what title you had. So yeah, just everyone, you heard Garret. Make sure you have your LinkedIn is filled with your experience, your knowledge. And another question I have for you, Garret, is many of us, when we're trying to build our LinkedIn profile, we see different versions of LinkedIn's. We see some people with very rich text, a very detailed description of what they did. It looks like a resume, and sometimes we see kind of like just a quick snapshot of titles. So what would you recommend in terms of the style of LinkedIn experience?
So you have to understand that the individual that might be reading this doesn't have an exuberant attention span. Okay, so individuals that end up having, again, if somebody went to the resume webinar, or purchase a resume service, like, your resume has to be a single page. Okay, it always has to be a single page. So many people try to have resumes that are 2, 3, 4 pages long. No one is going to read that, unfortunately. Okay, because the attention span of the reader is finite. You only have them for a couple seconds, and then they're gone. They're not going to read anything else. So when you're crafting the experience on your LinkedIn profile section, it has to be to the point, and it has to be powerful. Okay, because you have to be able to convey the exact different types of thoughts that you have, or sorry, different types of experiences that you have immediately within the first sentence. And you might only have 2 sentences after that before they lose interest and they don't have any ability to read anymore. So you have to make it very user friendly and readable. So that's why I always recommend utilizing bullet points, and just single sentence bullet points are probably the best thing that you can do, because you just fire them off. You have 2 or 3 for each of the particular jobs that you have, that highlights the different types of skills that you've earned, as well as the different types of job functions that you've completed at that particular role.
That's great. And so I think we're almost gonna just wrap up today's session. But before we let everyone go, we have one last question for you, Garret. So I remember last time when we were doing the networking session, you mentioned. I think you mentioned, in one of the sessions that when you were coaching some of your students, your clients, a very common thing you would start the conversation or start the coaching with is shake their hands. And you mentioned an anecdote about shaking someone's hands for 5 minutes. So it's kind of like a very common common mistake that people will make, especially for people who just step into the job seeking process. So is there anything like that in the LinkedIn profile that you realized in your coaching experience that a lot of people could overlook, that you would want to point out?
Yeah, so that's why it was probably the number one side that we had is the profile picture. A lot of people don't put a proper profile picture. Some people don't even put one at all. But
Yeah.
you can't put one that's from Facebook where you're with your friends and you just zoom in on your own face. You have to put one where it's just you, semi-professional or professional would be the best thing. So for guys, that means, in a suit and tie, where it's a proper headshot where it just gets you right around the chest up, gets your full head, and then just fully encompasses it. For women, you have to be in, whatever the most professional attire that you have, like a business suit, pantsuit, or a proper business dress, so that it can really highlight who you are, because that's the first thing that people see. So if they see that you're dressed professional, they know that you will act professional, or at least they have that indication going in. Versus if you just have some random Facebook picture, they might not think that you care, or they might not think that you're professional enough for a particular position. So then they might just breeze off and not look at your profile again.
Yeah, that's so true. Like I agree with you 100%. If I see a LinkedIn profile with no picture, I would actually think that's probably a fake account. So I would just like pass that with no consideration. And I know a lot of people don't have LinkedIn profiles. So hopefully after this session, you will know the need for a LinkedIn profile in your professional job searching, and also you'll have the knowledge to actually build one that's going to help you. And of course, as Garret mentioned before, if you need help, you can always contact us. The career coaches like Garret himself will be able to help you with a very detail-oriented coaching mechanism. So that's all for today. It's almost past 9:30, and I really appreciate everyone joining the session. I know right now a lot of people are dealing with tough times. You're stuck at home, but hopefully, I wish everyone the healthiest days, and try to enjoy yourself, try to exercise, try to stretch, and stay positive, stay active, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, Garret. Thank you, everyone.